want to talk about something today that's going to blow your mind if you're really willing to do this work. But if you landed on this video, my guess is that you are somebody who has a history of struggling to leave bad relationships. Okay, so you may find yourself with a history of toxic partners or being in toxic patterns with different individuals. And you feel like, why do I keep ending up with people like this? And maybe you also are like, I know I should leave, but I have a hard time leaving. Why does this happen? Well, the difference is between your conscious and your subconscious mind. If you didn't already know this, your conscious mind is responsible for 3 to 5% of all of your decisions and emotions. Your subconscious is responsible for 95 to 97%. So your conscious mind, your logical thinking mind can know better, but it's actually your subconscious programming that will keep you in the wrong and often unhealthy situations. So I'm going to take you through a 5-step exercise. We're going to get really into it because rather than me telling you what the answers are to this question, I am going to show you firsthand how your own patterning may be keeping some of these themes alive so that you can actually set this to rest once and for all and stop repeating these painful experiences in relationships. Step 1, I want you to write down your last toxic or unhealthy relationship, okay? And I want you to write down completely honestly. Just feel free to say as much of anything as you want. I want you to write down the traits and characteristics that you feel like that person had, okay? So maybe they were dismissive, maybe they were unavailable, maybe even in more extreme cases, they were narcissistic, maybe they were, standoffish, maybe they struggled with empathy, maybe they were critical, maybe they violated your boundaries, they were manipulative. Okay, so I want you to really write down anything that comes to mind. And I want you to do this as blatantly as possible, like upfront as possible. And you can pause the video as you need to. Step 2, I want to ask you to pick one quality at a time, just one. And I want you to ask yourself, where do I treat myself this way? Okay, it's kind of a confronting question, but where do I treat myself this way? So for example, if somebody was manipulative, where do I manipulate myself to please others? If somebody was dismissive, where do I dismiss my own feelings and needs? Or just dismiss my own dreams? Or dismiss myself in general? If somebody doesn't empathize with me, where do I struggle at empathizing with myself because I'm maybe so busy empathizing with everybody else and making everybody else's feelings a priority? If I feel like the person took advantage of me and they were advantageous, where do I take advantage of myself to please others? Maybe I take advantage of my own time, energy, boundaries to please others. If the person didn't respect my boundaries, where am I not respecting my own boundaries? And I want you to draw some parallels here, okay? Like if you can draw a column down your page where you write out all those traits, and then in that next column, you write out where you do these things to yourself. And I actually want you to score them from 1 to 10. How often do you violate your boundaries? How often do you dismiss your own feelings and needs? How often do you take advantage of yourself to be there for everybody else and run yourself into the ground in the process? I want you to score yourself from 1 to 10. And when you've done this, I'm going to ask you, where did you learn these patterns from? And why do you have them? Okay, maybe you'll actually see that I take advantage of myself to please others because I'm so scared of being abandoned. So I just want to be what I think everybody wants me to be in my life so that I at least don't have to be on my own. Maybe you'll see that I take advantage of myself because I am somebody who is so scared of making mistakes. And I just want to, be liked in everybody's eyes and not disliked or rejected. Maybe you'll see that I violate my own boundaries because I'm comfortable in that. Maybe you grew up with that and that was familiar for you. Maybe you'll see that you dismiss yourself and your feelings and needs because you're scared to be with yourself. It feels uncomfortable for you. So I want to know those answers. And please share them in the comments down below. Share what patterns you see within yourself, where they come from, what the actual answers are to those questions. Okay, then we have one last question. What is one thing you're going to do today to stop it? Now, I will say one thing. Usually for these types of situations, you have to do rewiring because usually these are actually conditioned patterns. In other words, they come compulsively, right? You just take advantage of yourself without thinking about it, or you violate your own boundaries and don't even feel comfortable saying them because it's so familiar to you. So usually these are conditioned in because of some sort of adaptation you had to make in your upbringing or early childhood, and you actually need to recondition them. In that case, if you want to go deeper, you can actually check out our shadow work course, which is what this is rooted in, is shadow work. But we talk about rewiring. We talk about the roots of these patterns in a lot more detail, where they come from in your childhood and how to actually rewire them. So you can go deeper with that course if you'd like. And actually, as a free gift, you get to keep our codependency and enmeshment course for free for life, which is probably particularly pertinent to you if you landed on this video anyways. So that might be really helpful in your journey. It's literally a gift, just a free giveaway with your 7-day free trial to the shadow work course. You really get the best of both worlds there. But You may also just have a really loud, screaming, obvious answer where you're like, oh my gosh, I need to start doing this one thing differently in my life and this will change everything. Like, I need to make my feelings a priority. I'm going to journal every night. I'm going to meditate every evening. You may just have a really obvious answer that comes from this 5-step video exercise as well. And in that case, start doing that. I just want to say this to you. We will continuously and forever invest in the wrong relationships according to our conscious mind because they're still right for our subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind weighs things by comfort, by familiarity, because it equates them to safety and thus survival. And so until we make unhealthy patterns that we find in other people actually really unfamiliar in the relationship to ourselves, we will keep choosing them. So that's your work to do. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you did. And I will see you in tomorrow's video if you want to join me for that too.